For those that aren't aware, there's an extension, a browser extension called Dissenter. It was made by the folks over at Gab. Gab is a social media network that was developed. I don't want to say why or what it's for, but what it is it's kind of like Twitter or like any other social media feed, but most like Twitter, I would say. Well, of course, the media has smeared and defamed and gone after them because Gab is a free speech platform, which means if you get banned somewhere, they will still take you. So there's still a network for you to be on. In my opinion, it's all a really, really bad thing that these, the big giants are doing. By all means, Gab and Dissenter should exist. People can use them. There's other platforms as well. I'm much more active on Minds, M-I-N-D-S. But the point is, as these big companies ban people and restrict access, they're all going to go into the same place, and it's going to create parallel societies. It's a bad idea. Okay, we should have people in the same networks talking to each other. It's not perfect because even Twitter has bubbles, but something interesting happened. So first, if you're not familiar, Dissenter is an extension where when you click it, you will get a comment section. They've basically created a comment section for the whole internet. It's a remarkably simple idea. I think it has nothing to do with politics. It's actually rather brilliant. Unfortunately, because of who made it, Chrome and Mozilla are refusing to support Gab's Dissenter. So it's been removed from their stores. And that gets a little bit more interesting. Gab then posts on their website, or on the Dissenter website, how to download the extension and install it manually outside of their store. Something else happened that's really interesting. Shortly after that, Mozilla initiated new policies in which they will block extensions, even from manual implementation. So first, let's take a look at this real quick. I say earlier this year, Gab, the free speech social network, and a popular forum for far-right viewpoint holders. I think that's actually just not true. I think the reason you might find that more frequently on Gab is because they don't ban people. Launched a browser extension named Dissenter that creates an alternative comment section for any website. I'm really impressed with the idea, seriously, because it should exist regardless. It's right. Like, why wouldn't Twitter have something like that? It's a really good idea. It's amazing. The plugin is now removed from the stores as the extension violates their acceptable use policy. How? How does it violate their policy? Because they don't ban the same things that Chrome bans? It doesn't make sense. This decision comes after Columbia Journalism Review reported about the extension to tech giants. Really convenient how that works. The Dissenter plugin, which goes by the tagline, "The comment section of the internet," allows users to discuss any topic in real time without fearing that their posted comment will be removed by a moderator. The plugin failed to pass the review process of Mozilla and is now disabled for Firefox users. But the users who have already installed the plugin can continue to use it. The Gab team took to Twitter complaining about Mozilla's acceptable use policy. They say, "Due to issues discovered during the review process, your add-on Dissenter extension has been disabled. It no longer appears in the gallery. Users who have previously installed your add-on will be able to continue using it. Please see the reviewer's comments below." They go on to say, when asked for more clarity on which policies Dissenter did not comply with, Mozilla said they had received abuse reports for the extension. It further added that the platform is being used for promoting violence, hate speech, and discrimination, but they failed to show any examples because they often don't have them. I'm sure there are people posting awful things on these platforms, but violence and law breaking, it's against the rules. But of course, as we've seen, they can just claim it and then you're gone. There's no evidence. They don't need evidence. There's no court. They just say, you did it. Look at what they do to, like Paul Joseph Watson. I'm not saying you have to like the guy, okay? I'm not saying I agree with him. I'm saying that they claim he's an extremist posting, dangerous things when the dude denounces violence at every turn. So what did he do wrong? That's what they do. Discord claimed Count Dankula was like inciting violence or posting hate. I really, really don't believe it. I just really, really don't believe it. Posting direct threats or inciting violence. I don't believe it. So here we have this. Mozilla claims that they received reports, yet they fail to include any examples so that we can review and take action. We have a zero-tolerance policy for threats or incitement to violence. Mozilla reviewer wrote, "We have received abuse reports of this extension and have become aware that it is being used to degrade, intimidate, incite violence against, or encourage prejudicial action against someone or a group based on..." Oh, I'm not going to read that. The extension developers responded by saying that they do moderate any illegal conduct or posts happening on their platform, and when it was brought to their attention, it's kind of written poorly. "We do not display content containing words from a list of the most offensive racial epithets in the English language," added the Gab developers. Soon after this, Chrome also removed the extension. So all this stuff we know, but here's where it gets interesting. It's that I don't know if they're going to get into it. But so here's the important part. Mozilla has not revoked the add-on signature. So Dissenter can be distributed while guaranteeing that the add-on is safe and can be updated automatically. Manual installation of the extension from Dissenter is also possible. Not anymore, because on May 2nd, they said, add-on policy and process updates. As a part of our ongoing work to make add-on safer for Firefox, we are updating our add-on policy to help us respond faster to reports of malicious extensions. Now, I'm not going to accuse Mozilla of doing this on purpose to block Dissenter. I'm not 100% sure it actually would block Dissenter, but that's what some people have been telling me. They've been saying that this new policy update is going to essentially deprecate Dissenter, and because they've been excised, they won't be able to be manually installed either. Something really funny happened. This is all backfiring. Whatever the reason Mozilla did this, it's causing a lot of problems for a lot of people. But let's read on. They say we will no longer accept extensions that contain obfuscated code. We will continue to allow minified, concatenated, or otherwise machine-generated code. Forgive me if we're not knowing that word. Generated code, as long as the source code is included. If your extension is using obfuscated code, it is essential to submit a new version by June 10th that removes it to avoid being rejected or blocked. We will also be clarifying our blocking process. Add-on or extension blocking, sometimes referred to as blocklisting, is a method for disabling extensions or other third-party software that has already been installed by Firefox users. So it sounds like they're going to just retroactively disable the extension. We will be blocking extensions more proactively if they are found to be in violation of our policies, which they claim Dissenter already is. We will be casting a wider net and will err on the side of user security when determining whether or not to block. We will continue to block extensions for intentionally violating our policies, critical security vulnerabilities, and will also act on extensions compromising user privacy or circumventing user consent or control. You can preview the policy and the blocking process documents, yada, yada, yada. So here's where it gets funny. First, just to clarify, I'm not saying Mozilla did this to block Dissenter, but my understanding is that it will, based on what they're saying here. If it's in violation of their policies, they will block you, and they've already claimed Dissenter is. But for whatever reason they implemented this policy, they just caused a serious amount of damage to a bunch of old add-ons. Listen, I don't know exactly how this works, but I will tell you this. I have an app, it's called Tagly. I developed it with a buddy a long time ago, and we don't really update it anymore because it costs money and time. We made the tool. What it does is you open it up, it's a camera, and you can put in your name, a picture, and it'll automatically brand every photo or video you take with your name. Just a really easy way to open your camera, press photo, and it'll say, Timcast or whatever. It was an easy way so that when I was in the field, iOS updates the system, and the app no longer works. You've got to go in and fix it. You have to update old programs. Well, not every add-on is going to be updated. Not every add-on for Firefox has a team behind it anymore. They still might work. Firefox borked extensions for everyone but legacy users. Bravo. Firefox updated their policies, which some people think was to stop Dissenter specifically. I don't necessarily think so, but it does play into that. And now people are upset because they've effectively just disabled tons of extensions. Now, here's a funny thing. There's a lot of people who are saying it is unacceptable. I won't update. They're refusing to update. People are warning other people, do not update Firefox because it will disable your extensions. They say, if your Firefox add-ons were borked over the weekend, you're not alone. Late on Friday, many Firefox users found that many extensions were suddenly useless or impossible to install after Mozilla pushed out an update to 6604. Effectively, it left many users having to figure out their own workarounds to use their ad blockers, password managers, and other types of extensions. Imagine this. Imagine you made the mistake of getting a password manager. You're using it on Mozilla, which means you have it's got all your passwords saved in it, and you only need the one password to unlock your extension. Well, imagine Mozilla disables it, and now you can't log into anything because, what most people do with password managers is they'll have a ridiculously, your crazy password of like 30 characters of all random digits because you don't got to remember it. Well, when the extension gets disabled, bye-bye. After furiously scrambling for a few days, Mozilla has some good news and bad news. It released a fix that's restored extensions for the majority of users on Firefox 66 as of this writing. Mozilla has said it's been rolled out to both desktop and Android, as well as ESR users on version 66.2. 60.6.2. It also tweeted that the fix will be automatically applied and that users don't have to actually do anything. Here's the bad news. Legacy users on older versions of the browser are still out in the cold. This is the problem. Now, here's the thing. Mozilla said the whole mess is a result of an expired certificate for signing new extensions and is unrelated to a new recent add-on policy update. The policy update is more about eliminating security risks for future add-ons by no longer accepting extensions with obfuscated code. The policy changes also state that Mozilla will be more proactive about blocking extensions. I'm not going to accuse them of doing anything on purpose. It's entirely possible this is the reason. But I would like to point out it's all rather convenient. Not for Mozilla, but I mean more like coincidental. These things all kind of happen at the same time. Dissenter gets blocked. They say, download it manually. Then Mozilla says, well, hold on. We're going to start blocking anybody we don't like. And then they crash the system basically and screw everything up. So it is what it is. These censorious types, I don't know. I'd be curious to see if Dissenter will work for Brave, because I use the Brave browser, which is very much like Chrome, and it does use Chrome extensions. So I wonder how that would function. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. They're claiming it's not true. I haven't done any preliminary work talking to anybody to figure out why they're doing all this. It's entirely possible Mozilla is just doing a security update, and it turns out that it negatively impacts Dissenter, and they screwed their system up. But anyway, I don't know. I think the story is kind of funny, so I'll leave it there. I got one more video coming up for you in a few minutes. I will see you shortly.